So here's our message to CISOs, their teams, and in fact anybody that's interested in real-world cybersecurity. And I think the crux of the message is this: protecting systems and networks is not working. It's not that you don't need to do it. You still need your firewalls, you still need your content protection, you still need your anti-malware. But it all comes to nothing if one of our people reveals a set of credentials or one of our people makes a mistake on a system that's very costly. And in fact, we know from talking to our customers that in the longer term, human error is just as costly as data breaches. Anyway, let's get on to the people. There are 3 key behaviours that most people have that are causing us most of the problems. The first one is simplifying passwords to the point at which they can be remembered. And we don't help in this because our systems tend to ask them to change their passwords when they're at their most stressed, and this is when the trivial passwords creep in. The second thing is hanging on to privileges. People gather privileges as they work for an organisation, but they never give them back. They never phone HR, they never phone the IT admins and say, oh, that domain admin I've got, I don't need it anymore. They hang on to it. And the other thing they do is install stuff on their workstations to get things done or to change it to suit the way that they work. Now, there's a lot of good stuff out there, but there's a lot of good stuff wrapped in malware. And malware tends to hook the keyboard buffer or the cut and paste buffer, and then this becomes a major vector for the loss of credentials. And this is particularly important if you're thinking about buying a vault, because vaults tend to push passwords straight through the cut and paste buffer. There's 3 other types of behaviour which you don't find in everybody, but it's just as dangerous really. The first is prodding around in systems, and that forms in 2 different ways. That's either people that are bored or just being a have-a-go hero, or people that are doing it maybe a little bit more maliciously. Then there's sharing credentials. Quite often people consider that the IT department will take too long to create a new account, so when a temp comes in they just share their credentials with them. And it's important to remember that some people are malicious. So around about 1 in 240 people will have malicious or criminal intent, and they will be looking for personal gain. Privileged access security works with people. It gives you a policy-driven, auditable framework that allows people access to systems, processes, local admin rights when they need it or when you've defined it. And it works by separation. So it separates people from credentials. These are the role-based credentials that they're going to be using to get things done on systems, not the ones that identify them, although you should always use multi-factor authentication. It separates people from direct access to systems, devices and applications by allowing you to wrap up your most common tasks into processes so you can delegate the process and not the privilege to do the process. And it helps you to control local admin rights on people's workstations, so you can set the things that they're approved to do, and then when they're out on the road and they run into some problem, you can give them a over-the-phone token that gives them temporary access so they can get something done. Typically installing a projector driver because your salespeople are out presenting somewhere. When you do these things, PAS doesn't get in the way of business. It speeds up business, it reduces error, and it promotes the really good side of people, the side of people that you need to get your business done in the first place. Now, of course, there is a much deeper dive that we've done into this, and it's in the notes below. But in the meantime, I will just leave you with the thoughts about the 3 products that we do, which is privileged access management that says these people can use these privileged roles on these systems at these times and get recorded. Privileged process automation, again, allows you to wrap up those processes and automate them and delegate the process and not the privilege. And privileged endpoint management that controls what people can do on their workstations and keeps the workstation safe. Anyway, if you'd like to know more, please get in touch.